I'm Anatoly Varfolomeev, and I'm the father of Anya. There was a knock on the door. I felt something's wrong. And he broke the news that there was an accident.
This father describing the worst day of his life in 2022 was an illegal immigrant driving drunk at more than 100 miles per hour, crashing into a vehicle carrying his daughter, just 19 years old, and her boyfriend, both of them tragically killed in that crash. Now, the illegal was sentenced in California state court to 10 years in prison. But then in 2025, the family learned he could be released after serving just about 3 years of his sentence because of California's early release policies. Though ICE intervention secured federal custody, and he got 46 months with a release now projected for 2028. Twice deported. There you have it. The tragedy and the stories of real Americans at the hands of illegals. I am pleased to bring in Nicole Kipralov. She's the executive director at the American Border Story Action, an organization that not just honors victims of illegal, but make sure to preserve their stories, highlight the consequences of past border policies, and fight and demand justice alongside them. And Angel Dad Anatoly Varfolomeev is joining us. Thank you both. So emotional to talk to you, sir. Talk to us first about where things stand today, your family, the loss of your beautiful daughter at the hands of an illegal.
Well, thank you for having me, Bianca. It's quite emotional. Still, basically every day, we are in tears, and I am very, very angry at the criminal and the system in California that allowed this. So my daughter was a late child. She was born when my other two daughters were 14 and 22 years old. So she was the darling of the princess of the family. Mm. And the focus was on her, and she was shy, humble, as noted by many, many people. At age of 3, she saw the Swan Lake by Tchaikovsky on television for the first time. And she loved ballet since that day. She started, we enrolled her in kind of kids ballet, and then she moved on to pre-professional ballet theater, and she performed in on many stages here, mostly Beautiful. Mountain View Performing Arts, Christmas season, and so gradually she spent, at her already high school years, she spent up to 40 hours per week after classes to dance, to practice. And
she loved it. When we see her beautiful pictures here and her legacy that you continue to share, to honor, I turn to Nicole, and we hear about angel families, but these are the stories that really, I think, Nicole, conflict when you see some of these activists, especially on the left, saying ICE out, and you look at this beautiful girl and her father here who's brave enough to continue to demand justice. What's your message to Americans today who are listening, and some who are not hearing the real story, like Anatoly's and his beautiful daughter, Anya?
Well, first off, they don't want to hear it. They are kind of politically motivated, and there is nothing human in that. When they say about open the borders, allow all the illegal aliens to come in, which is breaking federal law, it's insane. And I have met a couple of them during one of the hearings in the Capitol, and I was told, please just don't talk to the guy because they are nuts. But the message to them is, you don't want a critical mass like you just showed in Spain suit. You don't want that critical mass in the United States when your siblings, when your children, your relatives will be dying at the hands of those illegal alien criminals, then
So
you
well
would
said.
change your
So
mind
well said, sir.
immediately.
Yeah, until it happens to you, and their heartbreak is so real. Very tight on time, but Nicole, please share with us how people can get involved because they hear this and they want to help. Final thoughts,
I
Nicole.
think the main message here, Bianca, is that this tragedy was entirely preventable. And even after it occurred, there was absolutely no justice for the families. And I just want to point out that we see California's sanctuary state policies at play here. California corrections officers are instructed not to cooperate with ICE. So if you want to find out more, if you want to hear more of these tragic stories, you can visit us at the American Border Story Action. We're releasing a documentary with Anatoly and Paul Osokin, the father of Nicholay Osokin. There's so many stories to tell, and we're working on getting these families justice today.
We'll follow it closely. Thank you for joining us both today, and I thank all the viewers who I know will be called to action with all of this. Appreciate you both.